And, well, Magnetar, I like being cool and happy, you say. But you also like PragerU. So how do you justify the two things? How do you justify them? So this is PragerU. This is PragerU asking the question, who has privilege? Who has privilege? And, well, you're never going to guess. You're never going to guess who it is that has privilege, okay? You're never going to guess.
Privilege. What's the obsession with privilege? It's driving me nuts. Not only didn't I have privilege, I don't even know how to spell it.
Oh.
I think there's a D in there somewhere, isn't there? If I told...
Adam Carolla. He's so funny. He's so funny. This illustration is a little fascinating. Okay, well, I guess we'll see. Illustration is a little fascinating. Okay.
I told you a story about a kid who grew up poor, product of divorce, did a lot of dumpster diving. Sister ran away at age 14, welfare and food stamps.
Okay. He's describing himself, but they're showing like brown people in the thing, implying that like your base assumption is that this is the tale of a brown person in America. What? So is he like, well, but I'm not a black person and I went through that. You know what I mean? Isn't that wild? Isn't that, don't you? Oh, I'm surprised. Don't you usually expect that? It's like, no, not really. What? Not really. I don't think so. I don't think is that your expectation, chat? I don't think so. I don't know. Seems like a weird assumption to make. Okay.
If I told you that kid was black, you'd go, well, yeah, that's because of systemic racism.
Wait. I was joking. Wait. What? No. Wait. No. Kings and thanks for 9 months. What? No. God damn it. God fucking. Why? Okay. I didn't realize. Look. Come on. What are we doing? What are we? Hold on. How did he say that?
Black, you'd go, fair and food stamps. If I told you that kid was black, you'd go, well, yeah, that's because of systemic racism.
What the fuck? What? What do they think that means? What? That's so weird. That's so weird. Yeah, but, my 14-year-old sister ran away because of systemic racism, and I was forced into poverty and had to go dumpster diving. What? No.
But if I told you that kid was me, you'd go, what? What are we doing? What happened to your privilege?
No. What? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Okay. What is their understanding of privilege and what that word means? Like, do they have any? What is that? Doesn't mean any of those things. What? That's not what privilege means. You could be poor and have. I don't understand this. This is just. It must be the capitalism thing. It must be that, right? Because they think that privilege means having means or something, which isn't the case. It can be a part of that, but it wouldn't be attached to your skin color. It'd be financial privilege. That's all the difference would be. And all we're saying is, as white people, we tend to have, surprise. Whoops. Look, you do benefit from the in a way, you are right, but not in the way he thinks it is. He does benefit from the benefit of the doubt, assuming because he's white that maybe he hasn't experienced poverty, right? Like, And because of that, the way that especially conservative people talk about impoverished individuals, right? They talk about, oh, look, poor people, don't touch me. Like he sort of quite literally can wash his hands of that. It's so strange. I don't know. That's just... What do you mean the nobility have privileges? I've been ennobled. What's ennobled mean? I don't know what that word means. It's fun, though. He's never been funny and made his money being an unfunny white guy who's constantly racist. His big claim to fame is having the show where the ladies jump on the trampolines with their boo-boos. Boobas, rather. Yeah. So I don't really know.
What happened to your privilege? The real white privilege isn't privilege. It's knowing that nobody cares about you, good or bad.
What? So I thought this was going to be correct for a second, then it just managed to not be. Surprise. So white privilege, I think it's probably a bad word for it, although it's what we use colloquially to talk about it, so that's what the word is. Again, this is another example of like bad marketing on behalf of like lefty politics. And like the discourse that we have, right? Because colloquially, privilege sort of means like I have a thing I wouldn't normally have, and due to that circumstance, I have benefited, and I acknowledge that benefit isn't necessarily something that I did to achieve. Does that make sense? So usually I have the privilege of like coming from a wealthy family. Like you didn't really you just were born, right? That's not what white privilege or black privilege or whatever you want to call it. That's not what that word means, white privilege. So what white privilege is, it isn't a colloquial privilege. It's just how non-white people look at it is kind of the point of view of where that wording comes from. It's that you were born white, and due to the circumstance of your birth, thing that you did not earn, you have this aspect that, racially speaking, provides you with some benefits that are inherent to just the way you look. Whereas really what it should be is not white privilege, because, again, even the wording of that, it implies that, like, and I think, and Republicans and conservatives in general sort of gripe about this, and thank you, Draculion, for following. They sort of bitch about, well, I didn't have anything growing up, you know what I mean? Like, what if you're a rich black person? What can a homeless white guy not have privilege? Like, it's sort of, even the wording of white privilege, it sort of normalizes the idea that white people are inherently bestowed some sort of raising up of their status, right? It implies that there has been a benefit gained from being white, when really it's more of a negative experience being bestowed upon people who aren't white, instead of just treating people like we should treat them, right? It's so I think the wording is probably not ideal, but I mean it's pretty quick. Like if you just ask what it is, you just go, okay, what's white privilege? Well, white privilege is basically, I am white and therefore I don't have some obstacles that other people face due to solely their biological background. I mean, it's like literally nothing else. It's an innate avoidance. Yeah, I think advantage is probably a better word as well. And so I'd say even the term white privilege is like a form of white privilege, if that's like, not to outwoke the whole chat here, but I mean, I really do think like if you just break down the word and what it means, it like has an inherent assumption that gifts are bestowed upon you for being white. Yeah. It's and it is irritating. I agree that people don't understand this meta wokeness.
No one's going to do anything for you because you're white, and no one's going to
What?
do anything against you because you're white.
I mean, okay, so sure. That's kind of what I said. But like even that, okay, let's say that this is true, okay? No one's going to do anything for you or against you because you're white. Kind of. Other white people might give you favors because you're white, depending on their political point of view and active racism. But that in itself is inherently kind of the issue, right? No one's going to do anything for or against you if you're white. Okay. Even if that were true, and it's kind of true, the problem is that if you are not white, people will do things against you. People will do things for you sometimes. But the problem is that there has to be like this balance met. Like the fact that it's more systemic than it is people's attitudes. Although obviously racism exists, like because Native Americans did not look the way that Europeans looked, they had their lands taken. Because Africans, Native Africans in West Africa were not, did not look like Europeans. They were considered less human, and thus were, they could justify enslaving people, right? And then that carries over into systemic racism. We have things left over from when things were actively racist, and now we're in a time of sort of, I'd say the systems at work are like the people in charge of the systems aren't necessarily, although it definitely happens, especially like, the southern states, the red states. Things may not be necessarily active racism. Like they may not be, like let's say the system is a car, right? And the car itself, it has different systems within it that are racist, okay? The radio, it only plays racist radio. I don't know, Fox News. The tires just are racist. I don't know how fucking racist tires work, but you get what I'm saying. The difference is that while once upon a time, that fleet of cars that is the United States and all the systems within it, those were mostly driven by racists. Not most of them are driven by racists necessarily. They can be, but necessarily they don't have to be. The cars are still racist. Now, sometimes we update the cars and they drive better and they allow non-white people to drive in them as well and maybe not have to sit in the back. But there's still some racist systems on the highway of America, you know what I mean? And as we travel down the road, hopefully the idea is we swap those cars out for better cars with better systems that aren't racist anymore. You know what I mean? And hopefully the drivers maintain, a certain way, because any driver can drive any car, but if they're not good enough, or if they have nefarious plans or something, they can change how that car is used, right? And eventually, getting it changed. Might be a loosey-goosey metaphor, but I think you get it. Whereas I don't think PragerU or Adam Carolla or anyone involved with this shit can understand that, like, sometimes you can be at the helm of a system that is racist without being an active racist every day. You know what I'm saying? Like you I think they assume that if they're not saying the N-word, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, you earned that. That's not pretty good. That's not what the pretty good being not a racist is. Okay? Yeah, like being actively anti-racist is like the goal. Magnetar, thanks for giving one to Andrew Dickerson. Andrew is actually helping me with a project, by the way. Very cool project. So stick around. PragerU's 12 days N-word free. Jesus Christ.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
When I get pulled over by a cop,
Yep.
I assume it's either because I was speeding or the cop's an overficious jerk. But either way, my skin color doesn't play in.
Are they going to admit that skin color plays in? Is this new? This is in May. Uh-oh.
If I was black, I'm assuming that it was driving while black, or that
Or is he making fun of this? I can't tell.
he was profiling me.
Let me give you another example of
But black people can also speed. That's the point. The point is, if a black person is speeding and a white person is speeding and they both get pulled over by the police, the point of that is I hope they would both have a similar, maybe not pleasant interaction with the police, but not a violent one, right? But the problem is that statistically, per capita, per white person that gets pulled over, or per black people that get pulled over, okay? Black people have a worse time with police. They have a worse experience. And it's not because they're like talking back and shit. We've seen like there's this situation where exclusively black people disrespect cops. Have you ever seen a white woman get pulled over by a cop and she might be just a little tipsy? Have you ever seen that? Even if she's in the passenger seat. I can't believe it, you motherfucker. Like, I have heard that kind of shit before. Like white women get pretty fucking entitled around police. It's pretty fucking interesting. I mean, you see it all the time. Whereas white people definitely talk back more. I guarantee we talk back more. I guarantee it, because we feel safer, right? Most black people do not grow up in a situation where they are comfortable enough with police to give them bullshit when they get pulled over, right? Most. I'm sure it happens. I'm not going to say it never happens. Of course it happens. We're all people. And sometimes there's going to be a situation, regardless of the color of skin, if you do, affect someone's safety, they can defend themselves. This is fine. I don't think anyone would have a problem with, there's like a handful of police altercations throughout the country that end up in violence with guns being discharged. If we did two things, I don't think the country would care. Number one, make sure that those situations are self-defense on behalf of the police or on behalf of somebody else that the police is around. And number two, when it's not that situation, that the police are held to account. Those are the two things that we could do. Done. It'd be done. We wouldn't have any more problems with this, because that's the only thing we really want, right? Because if cops are held to account, it's less likely that cops in the future are going to make, these decisions that end in the lives of people being destroyed, right? You can normalize even this version of the police, which I want to get rid of and change entirely. But this version of the police, all ACABs aside, this version of the police could at least be functional in a way that we would at least calm down a little bit about it. And we could talk calmly about reforming the police and hopefully, getting the leftist idea of law enforcement out there, which is very specialized individuals that aren't overworked, underpaid, or underqualified. People that are, viable for the job and that don't always have to have guns and stuff like that. We've talked about this a million times. But I mean, even this version of the police, if you hold police accountable and they only fired their guns in self-defense situations, or at least mostly did, because obviously you can't hold, there's that part that gets held accountable. That'd be way better. I've only ever appreciated a police officer, one, when she was the first present and pulling me out of a wrecked car, and two, when they apprehended my stalker. There we go. I mean, if you got stalkers, sure. Best advice I ever got from a lawyer: never call the police unless you're literally about to die and there is no other solution, because the only thing the police are going to do is make everybody's life more miserable. They're there to protect the city and property owners, not take care of you. Yes, that's true. It's 100% true.
Of the white privilege I'm talking about. The privilege of not obsessing over privilege.
Oh my fucking God. See, he wasn't being woke. He wasn't even being partly correct about this. He was just like, oh my God, I can't believe a black person would assume they were pulled over because they were black. It's like, I mean, at a certain point, like, I know we don't, maybe, I don't know. So there's statistical data, right? The way that sociologists compile statistical data, right? No, Cough inspired. I tend to agree with you insofar as that, like, I don't think police would allow accountability to that degree either. I'm just saying that would be the fix, right? In this situation, it's irrelevant on whether or not they would actually do it. That's not what the point is. As far as obsessing over privilege and shit like that, like it's not that black people obsess over privilege. It's that they report, and like I was saying, sociologically speaking, they report a high number of pullovers in black communities. And then I mean, you can even look at the pullover record data and see that, because we over-police those spaces, which over time obviously makes the black community in whatever space this is, what it could be Atlanta, could be fucking the black community in St. Louis, could be, it doesn't have to be a city, it could be rurally, it can be like anywhere there's a black population at all, your city where they just have a few black people. At a certain point, the black community, especially as we've gotten social media, someone in Atlanta will talk to someone in California and go like, wow, we get, my cops here, they pull us over at a high rate. And then someone over there says, oh yeah, my cops pull us over at a high rate. Detroit, my cops pull us over at a high rate. And then overall, as we begin to, talk about it, we go, that seems to be a really common experience from a sociological perspective. I wonder why that is. And then you look into it and you do some digging, and then outside, you don't necessarily have to have a hard data number to understand people's lived experiences and understand that I have a negative experience with the cops is a high percentage chance report from someone that is black, right? I mean, of those who have been pulled over in the black community, how many of you have had what you would consider a normal interaction with the police, where they give you a ticket, they tell you why, they tell you to take care of it, and they let you go on a warning, right? That's pretty much how those are supposed to go. It's a high number of people that report that, and it just so happens to be higher per capita in black communities. And I'm sure other communities have higher or lower things depending on what's going on, but sometimes people are profiled. I mean, like, it just happens. I don't know why it's partisan to say that like sometimes people get profiled. It's like, yeah, of course they do, right? That happens. Of course there are going to be people that just like have a knee-jerk reaction to it. And the best thing you can do is just trying to not exacerbate that, trying to make sure that you're checking yourself and like, why do I find this suspicious? Is it because they're black? Is it because they have tinted windows? Is this community a maybe it's like the lowrider community in California? Am I just pulling them over because I assume that because they have this particular make or model of car or these particular things about this car that I assume they're part of a community that maybe they're not a part of, and I'm pulling them over based on nothing else but aesthetics? Like how many of your aesthetic pullovers exist, right? So it's just like, why not just yes, these happen. It's so weird to me that there's even this argument. This video doesn't have to exist.
I had a neighbor call the police on me during the day, during the middle of the week, when I was doing a construction project because our phone lines got crossed. So I picked up the phone to call Anawalt Lumber. My neighbor picked up the phone. I said, oh, sorry, I think our lines got crossed somehow. Next thing I know, a police cruiser rolled up to my home.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, so was your neighbor white? Did your white neighbor weaponize the police? Weird. That's white privilege. I mean, you're just giving an example of that, right? Or is his neighbor black? Are they weaponizing the police? Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. Now we have a broader systemic problem of just weaponizing the police in general because the police are oppressors to people. Like, I don't fucking... Like, is that the twist here? You can get the police called on you if you're white. I don't know what that is. I agree that that's bullshit. I agree that you should not weaponize the police for a misunderstanding that you can take care of with people. I don't know. But is that... I don't know how this is unless the story changes, I don't know how this is not going to be stupid.
If I was black,
Mm-hmm.
I would have no choice but to think that was racially motivated. I mean, why else would your neighbor call the cops on you because your phone lines got crossed, unless, in fact, you're black?
What? That's such a straw man. Why are we doing straw men? If I was black, I would just have to assume that. What? You wouldn't have to. You would not have to. Could it have been because you're black? Sure. But I mean, like, it doesn't have to be. I don't know where in the racist handbook it says that. If your black neighbor... Wait, this is the handbook. The Constitution of the United States. Oh, it does say right here on page 39. If your black neighbor has phone lines crossed with you, please weaponize the police against them. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. PragerU's right about this. That's fine.
And as a matter of fact, I'm not even black, and I think it was a racist incident.
Do you get it? Whites do have privilege, but not the privilege
Was it a joke? Was that a joke?
the race hustlers are selling.
I don't think people really drill down enough on this. I've had horrible things happen to me my entire life. I've had school teachers and counselors that were horrible.
What is this? What? This is not... White privilege does not mean you are immune from having bad experiences. What are we talking about?
had construction foremen who treated me like crap. I've had program directors who treated me like crap. And the good news is I'm white. So I just know they're a-holes, not racist.
Why do we want anyone worrying about someone else's privilege?
What are we, did you know that people can be assholes and or racist? Is Adam Carolla saying here that there's not any racists that really exist? They're just assholes and you're misunderstanding it as racism? Is that really what's happening right now? Is that the take? Chad, is that the take? Please don't let that be the take. Did you... What? Did you know you can do both at the same exact... Maybe you're a racist asshole. Maybe. Not every asshole's racist. Every racist is an asshole. That's the take. That's the real take. Jesus.
Who cares?
This
is America.
It's America.
You make your own breaks.
Do you?
Anyway, isn't the goal not to judge a person by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character?
What if their character content includes the tag racism? What if they're a racist? Okay.
I think I heard that somewhere.
Oh, by a black guy. By a black guy. Do you want to read any more of the black guy stuff? By the way, that's Martin Luther King if you don't know. Like do you want to read more quotes from MLK, Adam, or do you just want to stop with the one you agree with? Because I guarantee you he does not agree with the rest of that speech.
What's the guy's name? Marty? Anyway, privilege means you...
This is, I mean, it's just a quote version of I have a black friend. I have a black friend whose name is Arian, and that's not a joke. You might know him, and we do stuff sometimes. We're good friends, and so that means that I can never accidentally do a racist. I can't possibly do a racist ever. Okay, right? This just won't happen, right? It's not because I am not racist. It's just because I have a black friend, and he like transformed me. He's magical. Like most black people are, right? Most black people are just magical black people. That's why Morgan Freeman, when he's in a movie, he gets to be a magic black guy and change someone's life. Yeah, that's how that works, right? Right? The magical minority trope. They just sprinkle some seasoning on you, on your white boiled chicken ass. Then you become non-racist. That's how it works. Please don't boil chicken. I swear you said Organ Freeman. No, that's his dick. Morgan Freeman's penis is named Organ Freeman. That's true. It's 100% true. My dog loves boiled chicken. My dog loves boiled chicken too. But he's white, so it's fine. Poached chicken can be juicy? Shut up. It's not poached. It's boiled. Boiled. One thing that broke my inherent misunderstanding of racism, having grown up in Texas, was a very patient black woman telling me I was an idiot in creative ways. Yeah, boiled chicken is not good. Don't do that. Grill or roast your chicken. I guess technically you could probably boil that and then sear it or something. I don't know. It'd be, Gross. Gross, dude.
You have it better than most. Not that you have it better than
You don't like soup? I cook the chicken outside of the soup, and then I put the chicken in the soup after that. So.
some. How about tall people?
Okay.
Tall people
Yep.
have an advantage over short people.
That's true.
Thin people have an advantage over fat people.
They could, yeah. These things are true unless there's a low drawer or a I don't know, you need a fullback in football. These are different things. So yeah, there are privileges to being tall or short or thin or fat. Sure, that can happen, but you see, these are different.
Attractive people, you're welcome, have an advantage over the homely. There are always going to be people lower than you on the totem pole, no matter
Yes.
what color your skin is.
That's true.
Wait a minute, are we allowed to say totem pole? I feel like that's racist.
Okay.
Every minority person living in the United States in 2021 is doing better than people living in the Congo,
Oh boy.
Bangladesh, or many other places.
That's by the way, our bar in America is, hey, person with brown skin, at least you're not in Bangladesh. Yep. I actually don't know if Bangladesh or Congo have bad. I think Bangladesh does have bad living conditions. I don't know if Congo does. But even so, let's assume they're the worst places to live. Why is that the bar? Why? Pretty sure Bangladesh has pretty abject poverty, though. Due to capitalism, of course. Fucking, that's so silly, dude. That's so silly.
Around the world. And if you don't believe me, then why they're all trying to get here?
Oh, true.
Do the math.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, the argument is from conservatives, and this happens all the time, right? America is the best country because everyone wants to be here. Okay, so there's two reasons. There's more than two, but there's two major reasons that people want to be in the United States. Number one, and I think it's not unreasonable to say, it is a pretty dope place to live at times. Absolutely. There's lots of things in America. Convenience is super common. It has some benefits as far as like just amenities in the world, a lot of entertainment to happen. There's a lot of diverse people, not that they like that. There's lots of different things that make America pretty dope, and I think a lot of people really like living here for the most part, and that's true. I will say, of course, that doesn't mean they don't have any problems. Okay? The only thing that innovation does is allow you to have the time to recollect and understand another problem that you have and try to fix that, right? You know what I mean? Like we're not at the tippy top of possible things. So the number two reason is American propaganda. Besides the fact that America is pretty dope to live in, I'm sure you could say that Canada, the UK, some other places, depending on who you are and where you're from and how you like to live. Australia can be pretty fucking dope to live. Like, there's lots of really good places. But all of these places have problems. We've thought of them immediately. Like, when I said Canada, you said cold. When I said the UK, you said rainy or bad food. When I said Australia, you're like, too hot. Like, and then beyond that, there's the societal issues, right? Societal issues among those, obviously, Turf Island in the UK. Canada has a very low population with a lot of conservative sort of rural people, so you don't really like that. You're not really fucking into it. Australia obviously has a huge racism problem as well. Not to say that the other two don't, but racism in Australia is a little bit different due to the Aboriginal population and stuff like that, and the native, just the native population that they displaced, and yeah. So I mean, like they all have societal problems, but American propaganda says worldwide, hey, come here, it's a land of opportunity. We'll take your weak, we'll take your poor and your hungry, and we'll give them jobs. We're the land of opportunity, and blah blah blah. And then you get here, and really it's wage slavery. Now, the thing that wage slavery can get you here might be a higher quality than you can get somewhere else relative to where you're from. Like, it might be better than Bangladesh. But that's not our bar. Okay? Conservatives seem to think, well, this is the best option, and it may or may not be. But let's say it is. Let's say America's the best option. Let's steelman it, okay? America's the best option. Cool. Does the best option mean that it's perfect? Or that it needs no change? Or that it needs no improvement? Or we don't need to maintain that? What we already have? And we can just let it fucking, oh, well, that'll be fine. No, leftists all say, pretty much to a T, if they live in America, the idea is basically, I think America could be really fucking dope. And here's how. And that's pretty much it. That's the whole thing. I think America could be pretty dope, or wherever they live, but, you know, American leftists. I think America could be pretty dope. Here's how. Healthcare, education, housing, food, water, internet access, etc. UBI. Like, why is it not okay to be like again, like if we go back to the car metaphor, like because I know conservatives, they like the vroom vrooms, they like the cars, they like the whole auto industry, and they like a Ford Mustang, right? So if you got like your Ford Mustang, and it's compensating for your thin penis, right? And it makes you feel real girthy inside to have a Ford Mustang. Well, if you got a 67 Shelby or 69 Shelby? I don't remember. One of those old Mustangs from 50 years ago. 60 years ago. 50, 40, I don't know. You gotta maintain it. You have to upgrade it. You have to make it better. You can't just let it have its old parts and rust away and die. You get new paint. You get new parts. You put new tires on it. You pass it down to the next generation of maybe your child and say, hey, take care of this. It's important. It means a lot to me. That's not different than America and the country. Like, what if that kid takes the old interior out and puts a new interior in that you wouldn't have liked, but you're fucking long and dead, or it's theirs now, and you're still alive. You're like, I don't really like the interior. Well, it's mine now, Dad. Okay. Well, I mean, that's just how it works. Society follows the sensibilities of the people that live in it, not the sensibilities of the people that used to live in it. So, I mean, like, fucking get over it. You suck. You've lost. And you continue to lose. Like, it's not your car anymore. We're driving. You suck.
We're a systemically racist country that people are trying to kill themselves. They're literally risking their lives trying to get into the systemically racist country.
Okay. Dying from poverty in Bangladesh is different than wage slavery in a systemically racist country.
Harambe was just a gorilla.
Right? One is an upgrade, but it's not good. Just because you're upgraded doesn't mean it's good. It's like playing a video game and getting the second upgrade from like whatever the original weapon is in the game, and then going like, okay, don't need to upgrade anymore. That's won't scale. This won't matter. Revelations 14:92. Liberals are so gay. I don't think there's any liberals in here. And I'm not gay, but thank you. Comrade Airless Arc. Probably Airless Arc. Comrade Airless Arc. Thanks for following. Liberal. The liberals. Oh no. How about you try to disagree with something, Revelations? You can't, because you suck. You suck. Anyway, like I said, like as your living conditions improve, you can address new problems that were already there. You know what I'm saying? Like you have once you're no longer surviving day to day, you can be like, hey, by the way, this shit's racist.
Let's just say this country was a facility.
Okay, let's say.
And the facility was systemically racist.
It is that. We don't have to, we could just, okay.
And every year, people died trying to hop the fence and climb the wall to get into the facility.
Did you just yell at me? Was that in this? That sounded...
the fence and climb the wall to get into the facility.
It was in this. It sounded like Sarah in the background. It hit the... I don't know if you can hear that on your end. It hit the back of my headphones. So it sounded like it was behind me in the mix. That was weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird for you too, right? Because they don't usually play music. They don't usually play like noises in this. Yeah, that was weird. You can hear that. Well, I know you can hear it, but I mean like specifically it being at the back of your ears. I don't know if that would show up on your stereo, unless you have like a, like a sound bar behind you or something.
People of color? Would that make sense? The great news is that if you're willing to bust your hump, there's no better country to do it in. So maybe we should stop obsessing on skin color or gender or sexual proclivities and get on with the hump busting.
The problem is literally when people go, okay, this is my skin color, this is my gender, this is my fucking wow. Okay, I guess we gotta do that. This is what I am. People go, no, I don't like that. We can't get on with the hump busting. There's no hump busting to do because there's people that you don't allow to bust hump because they are gay or they're trans or they're black or whatever. It's not a big deal because there's a bunch of lefties going like, I'm black and gay and trans. It's because you don't like those things when those are stuff. The only reason people bring them up is because you didn't allow them to be that. What? If you just shut up, if they just shut the fuck up, right? If these guys just shut the fuck up and we're like never mentioning if you're trans and holding it against you, never worrying about your sexuality, never worrying about your fucking like skin color or heritage or whatever's going on. If they never brought it up, everyone would just say nothing. 0 libs and 0 tankies in chat? Good. Good, as it should be.
You know what would fix all this nonsense?
If you guys shut the fuck up when people were trying to live their best lives, that's what would happen.
A little gratitude.
You're well. Thank me.
You got up this morning. You put your shoes on. Your fridge was full. You hugged your kids.
That's not normal. I mean, this is not always the case with people's lives. Your fridge was full, but was it? You hugged your kids? Did you? I don't know. There's some people that have food insecurity, dude. Like again.
You said goodbye to your wife. You said
what if
hello to your girlfriend.
Wow.
Gratitude for living in the best country in the world at the best time to live in the best country in the world.
This is what I'm talking about, dude. Gratitude for what? Maybe it's not okay. God damn it. You can be like, man, I like living where I live and also want it to be better. Like, what people like you live in your house, for instance. Maybe you like your living situation. Maybe you like your house, you like your apartment, whatever it is. And you're like, man, I'm content. But you know what would be cool? A fucking hot tub. I think a hot tub would be amazing. Who doesn't like a fucking hot tub? Does it mean you want to burn your house down and you hate it because you want to add a hot tub? No, it's just making an improvement. Just improving on a thing does not mean that you're not happy to be there. Some people might not fucking be happy to be there, though. Some people live in shitty fucking apartments, okay? And they want to upgrade entirely. They want more upgrades. That's fine, too. You get to. I don't understand. Improving things means you're ungrateful. I don't think we should use the word gratitude at all. I think this word is entirely misplaced. Gratitude? Gratitude? Gratitude for what? What are you supplied with to be grateful for? You know what I would be grateful for? Healthcare. Education. UBI. Knowing that no matter what happened, I wouldn't be homeless unless I chose to be. Like, what? How? What? Why can't we get to a point where we could be gracious towards our country? How about that? How about you earn the gratitude, America? Rigid Rose, thanks for the first time subby. Appreciate you. First timer. All right, let's finish this video. We have like no time left. Oops.
Whatever your skin color is, there's no better country than the United States to call your home.
Okay.
I'm Adam Carolla for Prager University.
That's the whole thing. Prager University. There it is. That's the end. It's really fucking stupid. That's really dumb. More like Prager Poo University.